Yo, what's the word? It's Cosmic Lando, the Hood Shaman Wizard, and you are now tuned in with the In Tune. Today, we are going to be talking about a legendary potential fight that everybody wants to see. Everybody is thirsting and mouth-watering for this fight. Terence Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Oh my God, this is a bomb burner if I ever seen one, man. Let's go into the statistics. First of all, we got the great Terence Crawford. His record is 40-0, 31 KOs. Now you have Jaron Boots Ennis, the monster. His record is 32-0 with 29 KOs. Bud stands at 5'8". Boots stands at 5'10". Bud's reach is 74 inches and Boots' reach is 74 inches. So that's interesting. We'll talk about that later. Some more quick facts. Crawford is a switch hitter and Ennis is a switch hitter. As everybody knows, this is partly why this fight will be so crazy and so magical to see. They're both very crafty. So the metric that I kind of used to gauge this fight is the Avanesian fights for both of these guys. And I know people don't like to use the triangle theory and things like that, but it's important because this is the only thing that they have in common besides certain attributes that they have. But first, before we get into that, let's talk about their styles. Okay, so what Bud likes to do, typically he will come out in the orthodox stance. From what I've seen, he will come out in the orthodox stance, and he sees what he's comfortable with against his opponents, and if he has problems in the orthodox, he will go to southpaw stance. And I believe he does switch when he chooses. Sometimes he may be more comfortable, or sometimes he may want leverage from a certain angle or whatnot. Now Boots, on the other hand, if I'm not mistaken, he does come out in orthodox typically as well. But the difference between Boots switch hitting and Bud switch hitting is Boots likes to do it randomly. He will do it so sneaky that you won't even notice unless you're actually watching from outside of the fight to see him do this. It's very hard to notice when he switches. I think Bud, when Bud switches, it's smooth as well, very smooth, but it's more noticeable. Okay, now let's get deeper into their styles. I think Bud is a very he's a very spunky, crafty, stylish, technical, cerebral fighter. He's a dog as well, so when you bring punishment to him or some type of pain to him that is a little on the high, he will respond as he should respond with that dog. Boots, on the other hand, he comes out with that dog. He gonna come out. He don't fill out rounds like Crawford does, and respects to Crawford because Crawford is like I said, he's more cerebral. He wants to see what you have. He wants to see things, what you're good at, what you're, you know what I'm saying? He wants to, see what you have. Boots doesn't care what you have for the most part. He does care, and he is also cerebral, but he's more of okay, I'm about to attack you. And he does that, and he's also very technical. Boots is very flashy. Boots is very matrixy. He plays around with his food at times, and both of these guys are very, very, very entertaining to watch. I must say that. And now I'm going to compare the only fight that they have in common, which is David Avanesian. First of all, let me give respect to David Avanesian. He is a very tough fighter. He was once a world champion. I believe he's held the championship in Europe 5 times. And one thing I noticed with studying the fights that David Avanesian had with both of these guys is he wants to fight. He will bring the fight to you like non-stop. And fans can always appreciate that, of course. So what I gathered from Crawford fighting David Avanesian, what Crawford did was he came out orthodox. He popped that jab a lot. Pop, 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 pop. Now the jab, I believe he was just trying to get his distance, or maybe just stay in Avanesian's face. He did it very well, whatever his goal was. He kept popping the jab. However, David Avanesian was able to find success in the first round. He hit him with a nice, clean right hand. He was able to find some success and things like that. Now, Crawford, he saw, he ended up switching, to southpaw. And once he switched to southpaw, he noticed the success. And he stayed southpaw for the rest of the fight. I don't think he switched back to orthodox after the second round, I believe. David Avanesian did have success throughout the fight. He was catching Crawford quite a few times. I would say it was quite noticeable. It wasn't like, oh damn, Crawford is in trouble. Nah, but it was noticeable as in, okay, this is a fight. We're in a fight. This guy is not backing down from Crawford. It was one of those. Crawford, man, I love what he did with David Avanesian. He was really like, picking his shots, picking them apart slowly, finding, moments where he can tap the body, you know what I'm saying? Man, he was giving him some beautiful work. Very, very technical, very fundamental work. And, we have the 6th round where, David Avanesian started to, I believe he, started to get, just in Bud's face a little more. And the fight ended with, I believe, Bud hit, did a hook, a uppercut, and then he hit him with that right hand from the southpaw position, a right hook, check hook, and he knocked him clean out. Now let's talk about what Boots did with David Avanesian. And we will go back, because I know some people are thinking about certain particulars in the David Avanesian fight with Bud, but we're gonna cover that in 1 second. Don't worry about it. So now with Boots came out, pretty much similar, but not similar to Bud. He popped the jab very nicely, and he like I said, he instantly went to work. He was offering different looks. Different shots. He was hitting David Avanesian with everything. Head, body, body, head, body, head. David Avanesian was fighting back, but I noticed that he wasn't having much success with Boots. He hit him a few times, and I noticed also, which is going to be important, Avanesian did get a couple jabs through the guard of Boots, and I'll just speak on that now. Bud is very good at getting through that guard with his jab. He knows how to find his way through there, so that will be a problem. But yeah, we'll get into it in 1 second. So Boots, he's just doing basically the same thing. And also, let me comment on this as well. Bud had great defense against Avanesian. Although he was getting caught quite a lot, I'm not going to say quite a lot. He was getting caught a few times or whatnot throughout the fight. He was able to, slip certain things. He was able to catch certain things on the guard, and he was able to evade certain punches from Avanesian. With Boots, I think Boots, he had very, very, very good defense against David Avanesian. He was slipping punches. He was blocking punches. And I don't think he evaded much, because I think basically they kind of stayed in the pocket the whole time. It was like a pressure fighter versus a pressure fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's just one was just on another level with his pressure and with his skill and with his power. So, you know, Boots is hitting him with some vicious shots all throughout the fight. Oh my God. And eventually, you know, in the 4th or 5th round, I believe it may have been the 4th, you know, the commentators talking about, you know, David Avanesian's mouth was open, you know what I'm saying? And later on in that round, they noticed, or the 5th round maybe, they seen the swelling on David Avanesian's left jaw. So you get to the 5th round, you know, and I believe the 5th round is where, you know, it kind of slowed down as far as, you know, David Avanesian moving around or, you know, pressuring a little bit. It's like they kind of stayed in the pocket. Boots was, you know, hitting him with some nice shots, but I think the fight slowed down right here. But Boots still was hitting him with some good shots. And also, Boots busted his mouth or his nose, one of them. Boots, he busted that in the 4th round. So you get to the 5th round, okay, boom, 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 they fight, whatever. Now, Boots also knocked him down, you know what I'm saying, with a nice clean shot. I believe it was right hand from the southpaw stance. And after that, you know, the round was over. Shortly after, we get to the corner, and in David Avanesian's corner, you have the doctor come up, and he's like, you know what, I think this should stop right here. And the referee stopped the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because turns out David Avanesian's jaw was broke. All right, it was broke. Okay, now let me spin back. First, I have to comment on one thing that people may bring up with the Boots versus Avanesian fight. Boots in the 1st round, he did hit Avanesian with a low blow, and this may have had an effect on Avanesian. However, this wasn't intentional by Boots. Avanesian had kind of, you know, swung a shot, missed behind his head, and pulled Boots' head down, trying to be defensive. And Boots was, at the time, he was coming up with an uppercut, and he happened to catch David Avanesian right below the, you know, the waistband area. Now, the thing about Bud in the fight versus Avanesian that people speak on is Bud had difficulties with his gloves. His gloves ripped, I believe, in the 4th or 5th round. Both of them, not just one, both. All right, and that's very important because obviously we all know the padding and everything. The gloves are on for a reason. This is not a street fight. You know, we have to, it's a brutal sport. We have to protect ourselves to some degree to be safe as much, you know, as we can. So with that being said, Bud did have busted gloves, and we have to, you know, acknowledge that, just like we have to acknowledge the low blow from Boots. Whether or not both of these guys did this intentional is whether or not you want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? And another important thing about this David Avanesian, you know, mutuality between Bud and Boots is a lot of people was putting pressure on Boots. Let's see if he could knock Avanesian out before, you know, Bud did, and this, that, and the third. So I had to really compare those two fights. You know what I'm saying? Honestly and completely and objectively, because I know people are going to use that as a metric, although the triangle theory, you know, doesn't often apply. Now we get to the breakdown. How does Terence Bud Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis go? Who wins that fight? Well, I have 3 different outcomes of this fight. One is it can be a draw. And I know people hate hearing a draw, but hear me out. Both of these guys are sturdy. Both of these guys are strong. Both of these guys are animals. Both of these guys are technical. Both of these guys switch hit. Both of these guys crafty. Both of these guys are flashy. Both of these guys, they are just magnificent fighters. So how I can see it is maybe, you know what I'm saying, they both come out, you know, Bud Crawford being the more cerebral fighter, he will, you know, possibly be, you know, look for, you know, opportunities and try to get a feel of Boots. while Boots is coming out with the pressure and things like that. And I believe maybe in this draw scenario that they both just box. They both will have to bite down. Now, the second outcome is Bud Crawford can take the victory. I see two ways that he can take the victory, all right? The first way I can see is I can see him maybe, you know, playing off of the fact that Boots is a monster. He's going to come for you. You know, very technically sound, but he's going to really come for you, and he's going to take some shots to get his off if he chooses to. So in the scenario that Bud wins, you know, by outboxing him, he's, you know, playing it smart. You know, they have the same reach, so Crawford can get in and out of distance. He moves around very well. You know, he can pick his shots, you know, and counter punch mid combo, things like that. He can, you know what I'm saying, play it smart for 12 rounds. And the other way I could see Crawford winning is, you know, by a knockout. I don't see him stopping Boots. I think it's impossible because Boots is so sturdy, like his body. You know, even if you tap the body, you have to like constantly hit him with the brick the whole, like, all throughout each round to get a stoppage to the body. And I don't even think that's gonna work. I think the knockout can come with, like I said, Bud picking his shots, you know, hitting between combos that Boots throws. And I believe he has to hit Boots on the temple. It may take one time, it may take a few times, but I think that's the only way that he can get Boots out of there is by hitting him on the temple. And I believe that Bud has the accuracy, the precision, and the sharpness and the power to attack the temple correctly and you know, get the knockout with that shot. Now, the third outcome is Boots winning. I have to say that maybe Boots can get the decision. I don't see it necessarily going to a decision, but if it would go to decision, I think Boots would be winning off of, I believe maybe he can outbox Bud if he wants, but I think he will work Bud. I think he will get off good combinations, pick his shots very well. Boots has some great combinations that he uses. Very unpredictable with his combos, and I think although Bud has great defense, I think with Boots being a younger guy, you know, his speed, his timing will be a little bit much of a problem for Bud. Now, I think the more realistic outcome for Boots to win would be by knockout or stoppage. Although Bud is very sturdy, I believe that Boots has more power than him. And I believe he has more speed, strength. Just not by that much, but I think he has more. And I believe with his work pace, I believe that the stoppage may come if, you know, he works the body and works the head. Oh my God, that's crazy. Wow, let me take that back. Oh my God. He works the body and, you know, works upstairs. I think he can catch him with some vicious shots. You know, like I said, the stoppage is not that realistic. I believe Boots will win, or not will, but I believe his most likely winning method will be by a knockout, like a clean knockout, where he hits him in the jaw at the right time, you know what I'm saying, or hits him on the temple at the right time. Or it could be a, you know, case like with Avanesian where he breaks something, and I believe that's very possible. But I don't think it's as possible as a knockout is with Boots. Like I said, Boots is very in shape, as Bud is as well. But I think Boots, him being the younger guy, him being the more energetic guy, you know, I think that's the way that he can win. So those are the, you know, different ways that we can get a draw. We can get Bud winning, and we can get Boots winning. Tell me what you guys think. How do y'all feel about my, you know what I'm saying, my assessment of the fight? What do you have to add to maybe, you know, the style breakdowns? Is it something that you see that I didn't talk about here? You know, do you agree with the different ways that this can go, or do you think that there is one way? Do you think that, nah, Boots ain't fucking with Bud? Bud hands down. I respect that for sure. Or do you think, nah, Bud can't mess with Boots? Boots hands down. I respect that for sure as well, because both of these guys are legendary fighters, and you know, it's a shame that this fight may not happen. Depends on, you know, the course that both of these guys go, but I really, really hope that this fight happens, because the boxing world deserves this fight. This is like a movie fight. You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful fight to be made, and hopefully it does get made. If y'all can't agree with nothing else, can y'all agree that we gotta see this fight? If you want to see the fight, go ahead, leave a comment, man. If you liked my breakdown of this, go ahead, leave a like. And if you want to follow me and you want to, you know, hear more of my fight breakdowns or anything else from me, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I will be here very, very often. I appreciate the love. I appreciate whoever is watching this right now, whether you like it, hate it, love it. I appreciate you for seeing this. Thank you for taking the time out to watch. And y'all, you know, have a good one, man. Thank you for tuning in. Cosmic Lando tuning out.